Well, the NBA All-Star Weekend is upon us, and we're going to dive into what does your team need to get back to the Super Bowl. And today we're looking inside of the South divisions. And for one particular South team, which belongs to my beautiful bride, they got a lot to fix. It's the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Hello, voice crack. And I say unto y'all, on your mark, get set, let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up. I got to thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star Weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
So Damien asked a very important question. I'll answer that in a minute. Good morning and welcome one and all to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This first hour is powered, of course, by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. And already we got the chat loaded. Adam Willie is with us, said my Vikings need too much. And Damien, of course, our favorite, Damien Hernandez, says, can somebody explain why the Rams and the 49ers are starting the NFL season and not the Super Bowl champs? Well, because we're going to kick their ass. That's why. Both teams are going to kick their ass. I kid as I say that, but you do have a point, Damien. You do have a point. Every year, the NFL's regular season kicks off with the Super Bowl champions getting the highlight game, which in this case would be Thursday night. And I'll need to see a confirmation of what what you're talking about, because I know the 49ers are playing not one but two international games. They're playing in Australia and they're playing in Mexico City. Now, we have to wait till May for all the dates and times and things like that to come out. But I want to start in the NBA. And I have issues with the National Basketball Association. Why, you ask? Because it's happening upon a weekend in which the NBA really sucks. Here's the take. Okay. The NBA All-Star Weekend is upon us. All of the festivities, all of the all-star things that are supposed to be happening are happening this weekend. There's just one little problem. There ain't no all-stars. I'm sorry. The All-Star Weekend sucks. It just plain sucks. No matter how much luster, no matter how much you try to decorate the All-Star weekend and last year's set of games blue chunks, you're not going to get the response that you did, say, back in 1988. And then you got a celebrity three-point contest? Really? Let me look up. And then you got NBA versus the world. They finally got that part right. 4 quarters, 12 minutes apiece. May the best team win. And I'm looking this up on the fly because I've been so out of touch with the NBA. I admit it, because it will be in Los Angeles in the Intuit Dome. Oh my gosh. And you know what? I may as well go all the way there. I may as well go all the way there. Let's look at the. Let me adjust my camera first because it's kind of lopsided. There we go. Let's look at the All-Star rosters because it's USA versus the world. Okay. The world. Okay. Here's the game schedule. Let's start there. And it's in Los Angeles. You have 4 games. 4. What the hell is that? You got the world team versus the All-Stars, the winning team of game 1 versus the USA Stripes. That's the second game. The third team is the losing team of game 1 versus the USA Stripes. And then game 4 is the All-Star Championship. What? You tell me, how the hell is this going to work? There are 2 U.S. teams, the USA Stars and the USA Stripes. The U.S. All-Stars were assigned to teams based on age, with the younger group placed on the USA Stars and the older group placed on the USA Stripes. Team World is composed, of international players. I'm reading this from NBA.com. Detroit Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff and San Antonio Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson, good choices, will lead the USA Stars and USA Stripes respectively. Darko Rakovic, who the hell is that, of Serbia, will lead Team World. Can we just go East versus West? And Damian, a 1 versus 1 competition? No. You'll lose more fans than you did last year in San Francisco. So they're going to have 4 games. 4. Instead of 1 game, East versus West, may the best team win and actually play from the heart. Right? Let's look at these rosters, and I'm going to hate myself for this. The young team, the USA Stars team, consists of Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Durham, Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Johnson, Tyrese Maxey. Pretty good. The USA team, the main team, will consist of Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Stephen Curry, who was out with an injury. Or does this indicate? I'm looking at a dot here next to Stephen Curry. Yeah, it indicates that player is injured and will not play. So through the USA Stripes team, again, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Brandon Ingram, LeBron James. No! LeBron should be kicked off the All-Star team. He doesn't belong. Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell, Norman Powell. Who the hell is Norman Powell? Who in the blue hell are some of these guys? Now you got the world team with Giannis, Denny Avdija from Portland, Luka Doncic from the Lakers, SGA, the reigning finals MVP from OKC, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Alperen Şengün, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns, and of course the alien Victor Wembanyama. Stephen Curry is injured and will not play. Giannis is injured and will not play. SGA is injured and will not play. So Alperen Şengün will replace SGA. Brandon Ingram will Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram will replace Stephen Curry. De'Aaron Fox replaces Giannis. Norman Powell moves to Team World. Really? And yet you vote these players in going East versus West. And you do this? A 1-versus-1, Damian, to answer your comment, a 1-versus-1 competition isn't working for Unrivaled. What does that tell you? So you got you vote Eastern Conference stars and starters and reserves. I beg your pardon. You have Western Conference starters and reserves, and yet you got this frivolity. How long are the? This just does not fit. This just does not fit. Who cares about who? Listen, do what the NFL needs to do. Blow it up. Just go back to East versus West. And I understand why they made changes from East versus West, because the Western Conference kept kicking the Eastern Conference's ass. That's it. They said NBA versus the world, and then you get this. You know what? Come here. I need a sound from the master teacher here. Because the NBA, with this setup for the All-Star game, says,
"You like that? You like that?"
And my response, like many others, goes,
I ain't got no time for this bullshit.
These set of All-Star game rules are stupid. Play one game, 4 12-minute quarters. If it's tied at the end of 4 quarters, you go to overtime. That's it, and that's all. That's it, and that's all. One game, 4 quarters, 12 minutes apiece. And should it happen to go to overtime, you play 5-minute overtime periods until you have a winner. Okay? It happened in Denver in 1984. It happened 3 years after that in the Kingdome in Seattle. The All-Star game and All-Star weekend sucks. It has sucked for a long, long, long time. And it will continue to suck until you get somebody in there, and yes, I mean a new commissioner, that will blow the process up and tell them, look, we're playing East versus West, and may the best team win. Period. Until then, these All-Star games, if you want to call them that, ain't getting my eyes. Even the 3-point contest and the dunk contest blows. They both blow right now because it's lost its luster over the years because of who participated in the competition. And you had to add a 4-point shot, 2021 Atlanta, to get people interested again. You know what? Victor Locke, who's very, very dear to me and everyone on the show, said it best. And I love the way that he put it. And if you don't remember the line that you see in the morning montage, it goes like this. If there's one word to describe All-Star Weekend,
Trays, 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 trays.
and to think this year it's on NBC and Peacock. So all the greatness is taken out of the game. All of the luster is taken out of the game. You had it right when you had Steph versus Sabrina 2 years ago in Indianapolis, Indiana. What pissed me off is that if you can have the All-Star competition at Lucas Oil Stadium, why couldn't you have the All-Star game at Lucas Oil Stadium? There were 60,000 people for the All-Star festivities, like the three-point contest, Steph versus Sabrina, and the supposed dunk contest where the floor lit up. Why couldn't you do it there? And then the frivolity that happened last year in San Francisco, which kind of really ticked me off because you changed the rules for that in the Chase Center. And now you have this in the shadows of Hollywood. You got this. Really? I hope the Daytona 500, in terms of ratings, in terms of live viewers, and in terms of YouTube streamers, of which I will be one, crushes the All-Star game. I hope they blow them to smithereens. Am I going to know what the heck I'm doing Sunday for the Daytona 500? Nope, but I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to have fun doing it. And it's the first race I ever called, and I will make Shane a promise it won't be the last. But as far as the All-Star game goes, put it in the toilet and flush it and don't bring it back until you decide that it needs to go back to the old school. You have your Legends game, three-point contest, dunk contest on Saturday night, and you have actual All-Stars playing on Sunday afternoon. And yes, I said Sunday afternoon because for a long time, the NBA All-Star game with this All-Stars played on Sunday afternoon. When they made the shift to Sunday evening, I don't know. But the NBA All-Star game should have All-Stars in it. And for many years lately, not a chance. So while me and quite a few others will be concentrating on the Daytona 500, there will be some very foolish people that will watch the NBA All-Star game. And I will say it again. The NBA All-Star game should have All-Stars in it. And for the most part, they don't. And that's why it will continue to suck until they make some serious changes. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? Coming up after the break, we're going to get totally deets and break down the South divisions. And then Allison Moran will come at the top of the second hour. This is Snowman in the Morning. Where'd it go? It moved. No, it didn't. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, No, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE. Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
The Big Ten.
You can say you're not impressed. You can say you're not happy. You can say all these things, but no, whatever the case may be, the Buckeyes are on top of the football world. And it's just where it is.
The SEC.
And what does Georgia do? Well, as a team that has a championship pedigree would do, they came out full guns blazing, just like a tested SEC team would do. And
Big 12.
That team right there that is ranked 15 that put up 45 points.
Yes, sir.
They were picked dead last at the beginning of the season.
The ACC.
Starting with the biggest name first. Chapel Bill now. It's no longer called Chapel Hill. It's called Chapel Bill because Bill Belichick is now the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. The CLP rankings, do away with that.
Right.
Do away with it.
Bring down the gridiron on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Because we take this job so serious.
My loyalties were misplaced. My judgment was clouded by the allure of the black hole and the shiny new stadium. And I messed up. I'm sorry to the entire Chargers organization, to the Bolt fam, to the players, and to everyone who has ever believed in me.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Dietz is trying to come in. We'll get to him as soon as he gets here. But let's go to. This is what I wanted to do. Let's go to our feedback zone, and it is powered by Fanatics, officially licensed everything. And Damien posed a question. He actually let's go right back up to the top here, because Jen was the first one to break the seal. There's the sponsor, Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Jen says, "Are you starting early?" "No, dear, just doing a countdown to keep myself alert, because I've been known to fall asleep here in the office, and I'm trying to get better at that. So that's why I installed the countdown." Adam Willie is with us. He says, "I'm ready." Ashley Benson says, "Hi, hello to you." We're gonna ask the question: What does your team need to get to either to or back to the Super Bowl? Adam Willie says, "My Vikings need everything." Welcome to you, Adam. Damon, of course, is here. Says, "Can somebody explain why the Rams and 49ers are starting the NFL season and not the Super Bowl champs?" Because they're playing the next night. Report I saw confirmed Niners Rams on Wednesday or Thursday opening the week, but the Seahawks are playing the next. Are they playing the next day? I think that's what he's trying to say. Week 1 is in Australia, and that is where the Niners and the Rams will play. And Dietz, I want you to stand by, because I want to introduce Dietz properly, because I haven't had a chance to do this consistently in a while. We'll get to the rest of the Fanatics feedback zone in just a moment, but for now, to take a look at the South divisions, it's time to get totally Dietz.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
You're muted.
I'll cuss later. Dietz, how are you this morning, man?
I can tell how this morning is going. No, I swear to y'all, AI is going to kill us all. My phone decided to do an update on its own, and of course that's why I'm late to the show, because
you're fine.
It rebooted my whole phone. It made everything start up. But again, I did not select this. It just decided to do it. So that's always fun.
We got to get the crew outfitted with nothing but the best. Droid is walking around his house, and I think he's got his Florida Panthers jersey on. How are you this morning, man?
Tired.
Tired? How can you be tired? You're the youngest out of all of us.
I don't know.
Good answer. All right. Look at the South divisions and what your team needs to do. That's the end of our this is the end of our series as we look at the South divisions. We're going to start in the NFC South. And Droid is going to get angry at me. My on-screen son's going to yell at me, because we're going to start in Atlanta. Because as Droid loves to say, full-time Panther fan, part-time Falcon fan. So Droid, I'll come to you.
When it comes to the South, yes.
Huh?
When it comes to the South, yes, because my dad is a Carolina Panthers fan.
Carolina Panthers. Oops. Well, he had something to celebrate. Panthers made the playoffs. So let's start in Atlanta. Where do your Falcons start to try to get and why am I laughing? Because of all the answers that are coming in the chat right now.
Well, I think definitely first things first. They already did this. New coach definitely was a good start.
Yep. Because Raheem Morris wasn't cutting it.
Even though Raheem kind of was the only one giving Kobe Bryant a chance on that field. You still got to give Raheem credit for that, seeing the potential in a young defensive back who may be undersized like Kobe Bryant. I think one of the other big things that they need is wide receivers.
Badly.
But even more importantly, offensive line. Like that offensive line is worse than the Titans' offensive line, and that says a lot.
Now that's scary.
About
the
Falcons.
Scary. When your offensive line is compared to the Titans' offensive line, that's bad.
I would pick the Titans' offensive line every day over the Falcons' offensive line right now.
That's bad. Now, there's a very important position that I'm going to bring up that everybody's talking about in the chat, but we may as well just put it out on the table. How fast can they get rid of 2 Chainz Cousins?
Honestly, from what I've heard from my Falcons insiders, 2 Chainz is gone after this season. Once his contract expires, he is gone.
So
but they would rather not have to pay the buyout penalty they would have to pay if they were to release him today.
Right. They're waiting until his contract officially expires before they release him so they don't have to pay him.
Well, they don't have to pay like the NFL buyout stuff.
Yeah. Deets, what say you?
Well, the Falcons need to figure out what they are as a team. And
Agreed.
And that means figuring out. They bungled this whole thing when they signed 2 Chainz Cousins, and then in the draft decided to pick Michael Penix with a first round pick.
That was the mistake.
That's where this whole thing got messed up. Because you're the Falcons. Your team is built on B.J. Robinson.
Yes.
You have Bijan Robinson, one of the best players in football. Build your team around your best player.
That's what you're supposed to do, but
they have not done that. I just heard build up your offensive line. Their offensive line should already be built up because they have an all-star running back. You should be running the football.
A lot.
I mean, with how Bijan's numbers have been, Atlanta's stupid front office team. He doesn't really need an offensive line.
Yeah, that sounds like Atlanta's front office.
Because he's been dominating even without an offensive line.
What are you making?
Eggs.
Oh, okay. That's something I need to do after the show. But where else does Atlanta need to improve? And Dietz, I'll come back to you. I think Dietz is frozen, unfortunately. Dang nabbit.
I have given up on the Kyle Pitts experiment.
You know what?
The
Kyle Pitts experiment should never have happened. The Kyle Pitts experiment should never have happened because he's not doing anything. He never did
so much potential wasted for what?
Very much so. But the question now becomes, who takes him on?
You got plenty of good tight ends coming up in this draft, dude.
Okay, so give me a couple.
Even third round tight ends are looking good this year.
There's always tight ends. There's always tight ends, but who takes this on?
I can't really give you names right now. I mean, I'm looking at that Indiana tight end. I don't know if he's a senior or junior.
Riley Nowakowski.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's Riley Nowakowski.
I don't know if he's a junior or if he's declared for the draft yet. because we've noticed this trend in college football where we see juniors attempting to declare for the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's a senior, cool. He probably has declared for the draft.
He is indeed.
He is a senior. Okay, so he will be in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the better pickups, probably a second-round pickup, because I would draft a guard for your first-round pick if they even have a first-round pick.
Right.
Because
what
they
about
need
the
guard.
defense? What about the defense? What do they need to fix on their defense? I think I know what your answer is, but I want to hear you say it.
Everything. They need a new defensive coordinator. I mean, they need to give Kobe Bryant a better shot next year with a better with better veteran guys behind him. You need you have no linebackers to account for.
None.
And your only
Absolutely
good
none.
defensive lineman is a washed former Patriots defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm. They got no pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. None.
But they were smart and drafted a defensive end and I'm talking about Matthew Judon, by the way.
Yeah.
They did draft 2 defensive ends, but that means they overcompensated in defensive ends, and now they have too many defensive ends.
Yeah. Well, Dog says Max Clare, Eli Stowers, and Kenyon Sadiq, the man-child out of Oregon, are 3 of the big-name tight ends in the draft this year. Does Atlanta take a shot at one of them?
I think they should. If they want to get – I think if Kyle Pitts is still really that guy, which I don't think he is, but they still believe he's that guy, this would be a wake-up call.
He's never been that guy. He's never been that guy.
If they draft a good tight end to basically give him a wake-up call saying, hey, somebody's got him for your spot, that'd be a good way to motivate Kyle Pitts to have a breakout year because he needs it bad.
Well, you got Max Clare out of Ohio State, Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, and, of course, the man-child I mentioned.
Eli Stowers, let me tell you about him.
I love Eli.
He is a monster.
I love Eli.
And this is somebody who's been kind of watching Vanderbilt a little bit too closely the last couple of years just because
they beat Alabama.
It was the first year when they beat Alabama. And I remember texting y'all that I was like, Vanderbilt just beat Alabama. And, I tried calling you.
I watched that game.
I called you. And I was like, did you see what happened? You said, yeah. And I was like, so what does this mean for the SEC? You said, Big Ten's better. And you hang up.
Yep. Yep.
I
sure did.
It was that first year where Diego Pavia got the starting spot, where this Vanderbilt school really turned around. And I don't know if Pavia has another year of eligibility. I don't think he does, but he is fighting in court for it. If he does get another year of eligibility, Vanderbilt could be up top of the SEC again, even without Eli Stowers or Junior Sherrill. But I definitely do see a guy like Diego Pavia being able to lead that Vanderbilt squad to glory again, because he's just that good of a leader. That's the difference between good quarterbacks and good leaders. Diego Pavia is a good leader. Jalen Milroe was a good quarterback. Well, that's debatable, but still.
It's very debatable. All right, Deets, I'll come to you. And how would you fix up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Tampa, well, they've always been built on their wide receivers. And the fact that Mike Evans can't stay healthy, they've got to get somebody in there that can help Baker. They've got Baker Mayfield.
Hold on a
Baker
second.
Mayfield's fine.
Hold on a second. Deets, you may need to change your microphone because you sound like you're a little underwater. I don't know if your microphone calibrated yet. So while he makes
Okay,
that
hold on. Let me mirrors. Let me back it up. Yes.
I'll do that. I'll come back, Droid. I'll come back to you. But here's a question that Damien. Oh, they're both gone. Okay. Question: with the Falcons trying to get rid of Penix and Cousins, do y'all see them making a trade for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby? No, because Atlanta doesn't have the money. Atlanta doesn't have the money, and more to the point, and Droid's not going to like me for this statement, Atlanta doesn't have the nerve.
I don't know why you're not going to like you, but it's true.
Atlanta does not have the nerve to make that kind of splash trade. You know what their best splash trade was over the past 5 years? Or their best splash move over the past 5 years? He's going to get jettisoned after his contract runs out. Kirk Cousins. That was his best splash move. And we get a confirmation Pavia has declared for the draft, so he won't be going back to Vanderbilt. So So we're on to the Buccaneers. They need wide receivers. They built their game on wide receivers.
They need wide receivers? What?
Well, what they need is a contingency plan for Mike Evans.
Right.
Because he can't stay healthy.
Right.
I mean, you just drafted Ted Johnson and Emeka Ibuka. You just drafted 2 rookie promising wide receivers. It's just about what you do with them in terms of, well, we are concerned about Mike Evans' injuries. So what are we going to do with these 2 absolute stunning rookies going into their second year?
Right.
To make up for Mike Evans' injuries.
Yeah, you have to have a contingency, but you can't rely on Mike Evans being your number 1 because he just can't stay healthy.
He can't play 17 games. He cannot stay healthy, which is sad because when he is healthy and he's a stud wide receiver. He just can't stay healthy.
He's a top 10 wide receiver when he's healthy, and I will go to the grave with that.
When he's healthy,
right?
But he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been healthy for a while.
When Mike Evans is healthy, he's one of the best wide receivers in the game, period. I'll stake my claim to that. But as Deets mentioned a moment ago, he can't stay healthy. Therein lies the problem. So besides a contingency plan for Mike Evans, what else do the Buccaneers need?
But what is Tampa Bay known for? What is Tampa Bay known for historically?
Their defense,
and especially in their big runs, defense.
Their defense. We're gonna lose him again.
It is a rough morning on StreamYard today.
No, I'm here.
It is, man. It's which is putting a lot of thoughts in my head about this stuff going forward. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a break. Let me take a break, and we will continue our discussion.
I don't know if it's streamed in.
Yeah, let me take a break before I start freezing. Snowman in the morning. We'll fix our technical problems, and we're back on the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Base YouTube channel.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned. Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
You fool!
Delete! 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 Delete!
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
This has been a fickle morning, and that's being nice about it. We were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and everything that they need.
Mm-hmm.
The worry for me with Tampa Bay is Baker Mayfield.
Why Baker?
Well, one, his health, because he's getting beat up a lot more. And two, he can't seem to carry his team over the hump.
I mean, that's been a problem for a lot of QBs recently, is not being able to capitalize on their opportunities into the playoffs.
True.
Josh Allen, anybody, but nobody's saying that he's on the way out.
No, because Buffalo has no other choice.
Yeah, hell, this draft they definitely do, so I don't know about that.
Buffalo has no other choice but Josh Allen. And he ain't the number one quarterback in the league. But now let's continue in our South Division to figure out what does your team need to do. And I'm going to hate myself for this, but I'm going to go to your dad's team in the Carolina Panthers. How many more pieces do they need to get back to the big game?
Honestly, I don't think they need too much. They've been doing this rebuild pretty spiffingly. Like, they haven't done too much. Of course, there's still a lot of problems on the surface of this team.
I'll tell you, I got one position of need for Carolina right now. They
What
need
is
a
it?
running back.
Rico Dowdle is still pretty okay.
Nope. Send him packing. You
100 yards a game, basically? I don't know. I would not send 100 yards per game.
You need a fresh running back. Rico Dowdle ain't it. You also need an offensive line that'll keep the defensive hands off of Bryce Young. If you're going to build around Bryce Young, you need to get a bell count running back to help him.
But also, I think a massive problem in this league is that we're trying to progress too fast with these rookies.
Yeah. So
I remember back in the day where
a rookie quarterback would at least sit for 3 seasons before he even touches the field.
Well, at least 2. At least 2, unless it's such a dire situation that they have to bring that quarterback they drafted up to the starting lineup. And the first situation I can think of where a quarterback sat less than 2 years before they brought him in was Joe Montana. Because he sat behind Steve DeBerg for a year and a half, and Steve DeBerg kept getting killed, and he kept turning the ball over. So Bill Walsh made the decision to go with Montana, and as we say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Carolina backed their way into the playoffs, and I mean every word of that sentence. There you go. Carolina backed their way into the playoffs.
I don't disagree with you, but I also don't agree with you in a way. Tampa Bay was not that team all year long, so it was only a matter of time before Carolina started to take over. And I knew Atlanta wasn't going to take over. They still are a long way through their rebuild.
Atlanta's going to
sure as hell New Orleans ain't going to take over. You think the New Orleans Saints after this season's going to take over? Hell no. So I asked this.
New Orleans and Atlanta are going to languish forever unless New Orleans gets an actual quarterback, and they ain't got one. We'll get to New Orleans in a moment because they need. You know what? Why don't we just get to New Orleans right now since we're talking NFC South Division? New Orleans needs everything.
Indeed.
New Orleans needs everything.
I'm liking the promise of Tyler Shuck, though.
New Orleans needs everything. You know, New Orleans, Deets, you'll be proud of me when I say this to you. New Orleans needs to do what Cleveland needs to do. Blow the sumbitch up.
I'm gonna make Jody happy here.
Okay.
New Orleans, you can't win with a quarterback from Purdue. Okay.
She will laugh her head off because she cannot. Deets, you know Jody, and you've heard me say this. She can't stand Purdue. She can't stand Purdue.
Look, I don't care how much success they had down this. I don't care how much success they had down the stretch. Tyler Shuck is not the answer. He's not the answer, and he's never going to be the answer in New Orleans.
No, he's not. So, who at the quarterback position? Who do they draft? Because you don't have the answer right now in the Superdome. And yes, I still call it the Louisiana. I still call it the Louisiana Superdome, and not the what do they call it now? Caesars Superdome. I can't do it.
We've had this discussion about every team since the Raiders are going to take Fernando Mendoza. Everyone else is in. Let's play for next year.
Yeah.
Everyone else. I mean, Tyler Shuck is going to be your starting quarterback next year because it is get through this year and we'll settle our quarterback next year. And that's how every team has to approach. That's how every team that needs a quarterback has to approach this. But as far as all of these teams go, and we've mentioned, I don't know what teams you guys talked about. It looks like you guys talked about Carolina, but every team in the South is basically in the same hunt of defense. Fix your defense.
Mm-hmm.
Your teams are all.
Damien says Tyler Shuck is a way better quarterback than Spencer Rattler. Damien, let me educate you about quarterbacks. Okay? I think Dietz is frozen, so we'll take him down for
trying to say. Oh, hold on. Let me get my 2 cents in.
Let me get
So
this.
Spencer Rattler isn't
better.
better than Tyler Shuck. That's like saying dog isn't better than dog.
You know what? Lewis Black, one of my favorite quarterbacks, and Victor, you'll be proud of me for remembering this. Lewis Black described a presidential election the same way I'm going to describe the New Orleans quarterback situation. It's a choice between two bowls of That's the New Orleans quarterback situation, and it's been that situation since Drew Brees retired. New Orleans had their best quarterback of all time for 15 seasons. 15 seasons. Then when he retired, they went back down the tubes. So now what? Who would be? I'm looking at the quarterback draft
Rattler
class.
was unproven out of college, so I don't know why they even took him.
I'll take Tyler Shuck over Shedeur Sanders. I think we'll take a lot of quarterbacks over Shedeur Sanders. Maybe not Zach Wilson, but that's another story. Here are some of the quarterbacks that are available that are in their draft eligible. I don't know who's Fernando Mendoza is getting drafted by the Raiders. Ty Simpson's available. Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck out of Miami, Drew Aller, Penn State, Kay Klubnik, Clemson, Lenore Sellers out of South Carolina. So there are some good quarterbacks.
Looks like I'm going audio only because this thing is lagging.
Not you too, man.
The web version is lagging.
Please.
The web version is lagging. The mobile version is fine right now, but the web version is lagging bad.
Okay. Well,
so I feel like a beneficial move for me would be to move back to the mobile version.
Yeah, well, you get yourself situated and parked in one place. Actually, Victor, New Orleans is not a place where quarterbacks go to die, but Cleveland is.
There we go.
Better, much better. Can you flip your phone on its side, or will it stick?
Yeah, I can. I just have to do this.
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's take a breather. We got Mike Drop Moran on the way to talk all things WNBA and more. And you know what we're going to do? We are going to reboot this series next week and mix in a little draft talk as well. And we got some more changes coming, but I'll talk with the crew with that after we sign off the air. We apologize for all of the scuff. Man, we've had more scuff than Tuukka Rask's glove against the Blackhawks.
Oh my God, dude.
We've had
unnecessary.
You know what? This will make Dietz smile. We've had more scuff on the show this morning than every opponent since Michigan that has faced the Connecticut women's basketball team. How about that? I knew that would get him.
I'm telling you. I told you when I came on. AI is going to kill us all. This hasn't been a StreamYard thing, so I don't want to throw StreamYard under. I mean, StreamYard doesn't deserve any life. But my phone has been running apps in the background that it's updating things that I did not ask it to do. It's doing it on its own. Again, AI is going to kill us all.
Well, let me take a break. And when y'all get back, as I said, Mike Drop Moran will be here. We'll do our station ID, and we got a whole bunch of other stuff planned. And I got a few ideas in my head. We'll discuss it after the show. Second hour of Snowman in the Morning. As we have hit the top of the hour, we're back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The Big Ten.
You can say you're not impressed. You can say you're not happy. You say all these things, but no, whatever the case may be, the Buckeyes are on top of the football world. And it's just where it is.
The SEC.
This proves to you how tough and how stout the SEC is. You can't take off games. I don't care if the team is unranked. You cannot take off games. This is proof right here.
Big 12.
Mike Gundy, show me something. I picked you last year, okay?
The ACC.
Start with the biggest name first. Chapel Bill now. It's no longer called Chapel Hill. It's called Chapel Bill because Bill Belichick is now the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. The CLP rankings, do away with that.
Right.
Do away with it.
Bring down the gridiron on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Cause we take this job so serious.
Hi, I'm Bear Day Jones, and I read audiobooks.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
You listen to what? You read what?
3 after the hour. We owe you an. Shut up.
You read what?
Long
now,
story.
What in the hell do you read an audiobook?
Well, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and that joke was spurred on from a meeting I had from a person that's become very dear to me. We owe you an ID. This is Snowman in the Morning. Maybe.
You're listening to WJKS-TV. You're listening to WHDR. You're listening to WBWS-TV.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
You like that? You like that?
Ball goes Benton, Caleb Williams.
Are you kidding me?
And Father Ashanti need to go to hell.
In the name of the Tom Brady, the Manny Ramirez, and the David Ortiz, amen. Now let's go.
I am too old for this bull.
That last one got Allie. I'm looking at her in the green room, and that last one got her.
You're kidding. But I do want to bring up a little thing before we continue.
What's that?
Premier League football might be coming to Snowman in the Morning. I'd have a little talk with Snowman about calling a few games this upcoming weekend.
You better. Wait. Time. I'll stop you there. I stop you with 2 words. You better. Damn it.
We got to take a quick look, and I do want to also call some of the women's Premier League. But unfortunately, match day 27 won't be until next Saturday.
Okay. One thing I may be looking at is the Mid-American Soccer League. Speaking of soccer, it's an indoor soccer league. And I've been hooked on indoor soccer since, how did Tim Weigel say it back home in Chicago? The Chicago Sting. Remember that, Allie? Of course she does. Here's Allie. Of Chicago brings us Allison Moran to wrap up the week. How are you, my dear? Good to have you.
There I am.
There you go.
My mic is now unmuted, so I didn't want you to hear me snorting as my allergies have, after a week or so of absence, they flared up again an hour ago. And I'm going... How mean? What?
Allie,
What, honey?
I always have this handy.
Trust
me.
That's what I got. That's what I got. You know, when I was a little kid, everybody thought I was snorting cocaine in parochial school. And I'm going, no, I'm not smoking. I'm not snorting anything. But it's just, I have chronic sinusitis, and so it just flares up at the oddest and meanest times, mostly when we have spring-like weather.
When I was going through cancer and I had the tumor, it too, just like my allergies, would flare up at the absolute worst times. It was bad.
Yeah.
And my wife she caught on quickly, and she said, "How bad is it?" I said, "Honey, if I move right now, something will crack."
Oh God!
If I move right now, the world will end.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I mentioned indoor soccer because that's this. Everybody asks me, will you call an outdoor soccer match? I did one for Whitney Young in 2006. I won't do another one for two reasons. One, when I did that game, I was dry coming into the booth. I got drenched coming out of the booth. Because by the time the game finally ended, and it was a state playoff game, it ended 1-0. It was pouring rain.
Oh gosh.
Was bad.
Imagine for the players at Whitney Young.
I know.
You pampered wussy, you.
I'll be one, but I know what they went through after walking through that deluge to get to my car to get the heck up out of there and go home.
That happened so many times when Lev was in softball. It was crazy. And if it wasn't lightning or thundering out there, I mean, they kept playing, and Lev was always like, "Oh, I keep playing in the rain." I'm going, "Get out there! You're not letting your teammates down." And they're like, "Oh, do I have to?" I'm going.
We have approximately a month.
If anybody remembers the old George Carlin routine about baseball and football, that describes a lot of the sports Allie and I have covered in Chicago. If it rains, we don't come out to play. And I mentioned indoor soccer because that's what I got hooked on when I was introduced to a fellow named Karl-Heinz Granitza.
The god.
I got hooked on the MISL in a hurry. And then to replace Karl-Heinz Granitza, there was a fellow named Steve Jungle from the San Diego Sockers that had my attention. Speaking of attention.
Yeah, go ahead.
We told y'all 2 years ago that the WNBA is heading toward a brick wall. They are now hitting said brick wall. We told y'all this 2 years ago. And it started with the appearance when Caitlin Clark was drafted into the league. Allie was the first one to pose the question, what is going to happen when they face their CBA in Caitlin's second year? She posed the question right on this show. Well, we're getting our answer, and it ain't a good one. Allie, the floor is yours.
I'll tell you, the WNBA submitted yet another new collective bargaining agreement proposal to the players last Friday. And while not a lot of details have been shared, there have been some that have leaked out just a bit. And now, while the leadership of the W appears to offer some concessions in terms of housing and facility standards, there doesn't appear to be a significant change in terms of what the league's willing to offer in terms of revenue sharing. They're standing pat on the, I think it's 50% of the net. And what the players want is 30% of the gross, which would, yeah. And so now what NECA has said, she's the WNBPA, the Players Association president. She says that there is a silver lining in this. And that is that the players are more connected than ever. And that all of them are more united than ever in coming to an agreement with the W. And we'll see what happens. They have 6 weeks. They've got yet probably about a month of heavy negotiation before they absolutely positively can avoid a strike.
Mm-hmm.
But
so here we go again with what we talked about before. When this all crashed on everybody else's head except us, because we knew what was going on. Allie called it 30, 60, 90, and then 120. And they're gonna add 30, and they're gonna add 30 on top of that. So you may as well say it's gone from 30 to 150.
Probably.
And they're at 120 right now.
That's right.
They're at 120 right now. Every other deal has gone by the boards. They rejected them all. Another one has been submitted. We don't know, as Allie, you said a moment ago, we don't know most of the details that are included. But if the players are getting united, you would think you'd get excited because there could be an imminent deal coming. Not so fast. There are still the few that could yank the rug out from everybody else.
It's true. Now, the thing is that a couple of the other issues that have emerged since then, and a lot of this has come out of the Athletes Unlimited season in Nashville, yet another off-season basketball place to play. Unlike Unrivaled, though, it's a 5-on-5 instead of a 3-on-3.
Or the one versus one where everybody's getting smoked, and we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, and the thing is that they're also extremely concerned about retirement benefits. That's another sticking point that really hasn't been shared up to this point, but as one player put it, what's going to happen when the ball doesn't bounce anymore?
Right.
And the thing is that, that's one thing that every league has had to sort of be concerned about. The most outstanding example being the NFL Players Union and the problem of CTE. Now, we don't know the long-term effects of being hit on the head with a basketball yet, but those things are damn heavy too. And we'll see. And basketball is everything about a physical tough game. And so I can only guess that may, as you were just saying, Brian, be able to extend this to 120 days or 150 days. And you got to remember also what's at stake during the season, before the season starts, which is draft for the expansion teams, the WNBA draft, which is a separate process. You've got training camps to do.
And they're mushing all that together within a month. They are mushing all of that together because, as you mentioned, 2 drafts this year, one for the expansion teams and then the regular WNBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
You got training camp on top of that. And oh, by the way, you're mushing all that together right after the national championship, or shall we predictably call it the Connecticut coronation? We'll get to Connecticut in just a moment.
Yeah.
But you got all that going on within the span of 30 to 45 days.
Yeah. I don't see it. My personal belief, however, interestingly enough, at Athletes Unlimited, ESPN actually conducted a survey, and they had talked about this cautious optimism that the players have. They asked the question, could the season start on time on May 8th? And the average score there out of 10 was a 6.1. So just above average. One pessimistic outlier, they said, answered with a 2. The most common answer was a 5, which sums up kind of, as ESPN put it, a general shoulder shrug vibe. So, I don't know. So we'll see.
And Chris Deeds says in the chat so well, the players are more connected. But the problem is up top.
Yeah.
And we've said this for 2 years. The problem's up top with old Engelbert. And old Engelbert ain't coming off the money.
Nope.
Which she didn't negotiate to get in the first place. Adam Silver did.
Yeah.
But she wants to take credit for him. And if I was Adam Silver, I'd tell her, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. You didn't do this deal. I did.
There you go. Yeah, it's a scary thing right now because this sets the deal for the future of the league. This is going to be one of the most consequential contracts that the W has ever put into effect.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what, if it were me, and I'll just say this, I would look for a negotiating point on revenue sharing that would be halfway between what the players want and what the W wants. Okay, they're at 30, the other one's at 50. Let's go 40%, 45%.
Meet the middle.
Yeah.
Meet the middle somewhere.
And figure out if there's a way to work around the gross versus the net.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work. But I will say that it's going to be a very tense next month. You just know that that's going to be the case, and we'll see. It's interestingly enough, I have to share this comment about the housing that somebody said. Housing is a big problem. Our season isn't long enough. There's not enough things in place in everybody's market for it to make sense for people to live there year round. Also, because of the lack of guaranteed contracts, we have a revolving door of players. like we saw with the Fever in 2025. How many hardship contracts did they sign over the course of the last year? I just don't understand how they feel it would make sense to take away housing when people are just all over the place moving.
Right. And there's some valid points in that.
Yeah.
There's some very valid points in that. Let's mix in Dietz's point as well. All the great commissioners, they all have problems with their league. Absolutely. But they don't have a problem connecting with their players except this one. And Kathy Engelbert drove the wedge. Thank you, honey. Kathy Engelbert drove a wedge. How big can I make this wedge? You know that board, that right field board at Wrigley Field? That right field video board? That's how big the wedge is between Engelbert and the players right now.
That's
and if you stack the left field board on top of that, it gets bigger than that.
Yeah. Nope, absolutely right.
And if you really want to go one step further, my favorite pizza is Giordano's. You take a few of those and you stack them on top of the pile, and the wedge gets bigger than that.
That's fair.
Why can't she see this? I mean, hello, plain sight here. Your players are trying to tell you something and you ain't listening.
We've talked about Kathy Engelbert and how she is a money manager. She knows how to bring in the money. She knows how to evaluate teams. She knows how to evaluate the WNBA pretty well. She does not know how to be an empath. She cannot speak to the needs of the players. She's looking at this as a business. Now, the best of all possible managers and shepherds and CEOs of a company with a vision, let's put it that way, is they kind of balance the needs of their employees and the needs of the organization to grow. And somehow you make sure that you really do have a balance of, yes, we care about you because you're providing a product for us. And we just haven't seen that out of Kathy Engelbert. And that's really the problem is her people skills. However, the fact that she is such a good money manager means she's really not going anywhere. I don't see it happening.
It's a two-sided, it's a coin that I hate. She's a good money manager, but she hates her players. Let me just say it the way I need to say it.
She has to see it.
Women's hockey, USA women's hockey, have blown the doors off the joint.
Yeah, and how?
And they're not. Well, Allie and I briefly mentioned telling the story of women's hockey from a Chicago standpoint, which we will do. But seeing these ladies in action, yikes!
And how? Did we ever expect them to obliterate Canada 5-0? No. I mean, the only people who have scored on USA women was Czechia in the first round.
Czech Republic.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
They scored once.
And all the rest, 5 goals for the U.S. And they are now just 3 wins away from a 3rd gold medal.
Who's the next victim they get to obliterate?
Italy today. Later on today, 3:40, I think, is Eastern time.
I just might put the headset on for that. Depends on what else.
The big reason why Canada didn't play to their max potential is because their star players out.
Yeah, That's absolutely right. Marie-Philippe Poulin. She is, she's the veteran on the team. And without her, you would think that Canada would have suitable backups, but no.
Canada was excited to be there.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. is on a mission.
Happy to be there.
Yeah,
I'm just happy. Every other team is just happy to be there, and then they see the U.S. across from them. It's like when the Dream Team happened in '92. Every other team in the Olympics, okay, we're going to play in the Olympics. Then you see what the USA is bringing out, and they're going, "Are you kidding?"
That was it. It was interesting too, though. If you look at the makeup of the NBA now, I mean, how many players come from Europe? If you think about it,
half the league.
Yeah, and the thing is that back then it was almost all U.S. born players.
Yep.
And however, what happened was they got away from the fundamental game, so it became literally showtime. And I think,
why did you just cuss on my show saying the word fundamental? Allie knows my jokes so well when we use the word fundamental, because to today's NBA, it's a cuss word.
Right.
They don't use it.
Yeah.
Which basically they don't like fundamentals.
No.
Like you said a moment ago, it's become all showtime because of what they've seen. And I said earlier in the show, in fact, I led off with it, this USA versus the world for the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, you watching?
Take a look at this face and ask me that question
Are we
again.
having a laugh? I
am calling the Daytona 500,
all
then
right.
I'm making dinner for my bride, and then I'm going to bed.
All right.
I'm not.
All right.
The NBA All-Star game has not gotten my attention since it went to TNT in 2003.
Yeah.
For the 2002-2003 season, when it went behind a paywall.
Damn them.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I understand. There's every good reason to despise that, and I get it. I have no interest.
Look, even after someone forced the highlights of last year's debacle in San Francisco on me, where they played 4 games in a night up to 40. I said, what the hell are we doing? Am I back in Chicago on a playground or something and they're doing this story? What the hell is this? They 1 game, 4 quarters. If you have the most points, you win, and that's that. That's the way I grew up with the All-Star game. And yes, there was actually a time where they played defense in the All-Star game. 1982 in the Meadowlands. Look that one up. 1983 in the Forum. Look that one up. 1984, Denver, Colorado, when it went to overtime. And when they scored 154 points, they were actually playing basketball. Mm-hmm. There was no relaxing in that game. I mean, when it was a game, when it was competition, when it was actual competition. I'll rewind it back to 1982. Larry Bird came up with a game-winning block.
Yeah, how about it? How about real basketball? It's an all-star game. It's an all-star game. It needs to have all-stars competing against each other. It's like having flag football in that. It's so strange.
When the Pro Bowl went away from Hawaii, and I understand why, because Aloha Stadium's a dump, but that's when the commissioner should step in and say, look, I'll rebuild Aloha. I'll pitch in to rebuild Aloha Stadium. That should be, and Dietz just said it. The players back then had pride. They wanted to win. They don't want to help them. Man, the heck with that. They don't want to have. I don't want to see an all-star game where they have wide open lanes driving down the lane for a dunk. What?
Yeah,
that's not an all-star game. Where's the defense? Where's players popping the ball loose on a steal so they can really show off?
Yep.
Michael Jordan, 1988 in old Chicago Stadium.
And here's another thing to think about as well for this weekend's All-Star game. There is no participation by the W. They have completely axed anything like Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu matchup. Probably wouldn't have been Sabrina this year. She still has an injury that she's nursing for the season. So the thing is that without the W, I mean, that's one product of the of the NBA, and you have to have this is the representation of product. The products are the men and women.
If they had an event where the NBA versus the W in a 3-point contest, I bet you that would make a hard push into the solution of the labor problem, because Steph versus Sabrina, listen to me carefully, folks. 2 years ago, Steph versus Sabrina sold out Lucas Oil Stadium.
That's right.
They didn't put a few people in there. They didn't put half the. It sold the house.
So
you get a big house like that. You know what you do.
You
have the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry.
And you don't mean Gainbridge Fieldhouse
and Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Life would be so much better if we ran the league. How about that?
Yeah. It would be easier.
Yeah.
It would be easier.
Yeah. I think that we could be a whole lot more decisive. I think we could definitely figure out how to spend the money.
And spend it correctly. And Damian, thank you for saying this. A player you and I are both familiar with and both know very well, Miss Candace Parker, up for the Hall of Fame this year. And she better get in on the first ballot, damn it.
Absolutely.
Now, Droid, we talked soccer, but you have the NWSL on your head. And considering Allie's an expert, and you're an expert, Droid, I'll let you have the floor. Go for it.
Expert. I wouldn't call myself an expert.
I do. You have the floor.
NWSL, it's about a month away. It's currently February 13th. The first game's March 13th, and it's between the Washington Spirit and the Portland Thorns.
Mm-hmm.
My question is about these two new teams, the Denver Summit and the Boston Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll be able to compete with teams like San Diego and KC, or do you think they're going to be near bottom of the table like Bay and Houston?
Well, I would say that history would put them in the middle of the pack because of the way dispersal drafts are conducted and the way that the latest CBA for them is conducted. The thing is, the question is, they have had a good amount of time to prepare for this, and it's been what, a year since those teams were announced. So my thought is that I would look for both of those teams to hit middle of the pack. Rather than rounding up the bottom. It's going to be an interesting month of preparation for the NWSL. Interestingly enough, the Chicago Stars are currently in a battle with the city of Evanston to play their games. To me, it's almost comical because the city of Evanston, they want to play their games at the stadium on Northwestern's campus by the lakefront. And so what's happened with that is that the Evanston City Council's basically lodged a complaint because they're worried about all the noise and all the tailgating and all the evil things that sports can bring. I mean, take a look at your Northwestern people. Let's take a look at the tailgating.
They're afraid of noise.
They are.
Blew up Ryan Field.
Yeah.
Trying to make a better experience for Northwestern football.
Yeah.
And they remade Welsh Ryan Arena for Northwestern basketball, both of which have tailgating. Been there, done that, even though as a media member, you've done it also, Allie.
I sure have.
About and now they're afraid about noise if they let them play at Ryan Field. Are you bleeping kidding me?
Let me tell you, I having walked through many tailgates and have it at what used to be Toyota Park and in Bridgeview, and living about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away from there for so long, I will say that absolutely no problems were created for the neighborhood at all.
The neighborhood joined in.
Yeah,
joined in on this. I had a tailgate story. Some years back when I covered Brother Rice and St. Rena in a football game, and it was number 2 versus number 3. And I had to stand on the roof because every media member in Chicago was squeezed into that doggone place. The game went 6 overtimes.
Jesus.
I stood up in the rain, did not have a seat to stand on, and the game went 6 overtimes. I had to make sure my equipment was protected so it doesn't get drowned. I had to make sure I was somehow protected so I don't get drowned, which wound up happening anyway. And the game went 6 overtimes. It went from 14 apiece at the end of regulation to 51-48 St. Rita. Now, anyone who is familiar with the Chicago Catholic League knows there is a pregame tailgate and a postgame tailgate. You have a big crowd for the pregame tailgate, and you have a bigger crowd for the postgame tailgate.
That's right. Oh, you know what? I have a couple of other things to say outside of the Ryan Field, at least in relation to the Chicago Stars. Let's put it this way. I still find this funny. This quote from the group. It's called the MCLA. They contended that the games would wreak havoc on Evanston and nearby Wilmette.
So let me get this straight. This feels like the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca over in California, where residents complained about the car noise when they decided to buy a property next to a raceway.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about that. And interestingly,
that it would wreak havoc in Evanston and
Wilmette. Yeah, on from Ryan Field. And interestingly enough, 82% supported this move citywide, 70% support from the 7th Ward for the Stars to play at Ryan Field. It's only this little group. And what's more, the Stars also announced that they were going to be breaking ground in, get this, Bannockburn, Illinois, to build a best-in-class new practice facility. They're having a weight room, they're having wellness spaces, first-class amenities like grass and turf fields. They're going to have a workspace. They're going to have a press conference, media, office, and content spaces. And I mean, this is going to be a banner year. Should this thing get resolved with the city of Evanston?
Well, they better hurry up.
Yeah,
they better hurry up. They got a month to solve this problem.
Yeah,
right? If you want listen, two of the richest suburbs, Evanston and Wilmette, and they're worried about noise.
Yeah.
Hello, Ryan.
They have Ravinia
Look, Ryan Field has 50,000 seats in there. You don't think that makes a lot of noise?
It does.
And to borrow from Keith Jackson from 1995, they're having so much fun. There was a sign last week that read, "Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier." I knew you'd remember that one.
Sadly, yes, I do.
That was before they played Penn State in 1995.
Right.
Coming down the stretch here on Snowman in the Morning, Allison Moran is here with us, just having all kinds of fun here. Evanston is worried about noise at Ryan Field, and yet they have Northwestern University.
Somehow it doesn't make sense. Especially
somehow it doesn't make sense. It just straight doesn't make sense, Allie. Like,
it's the 21st century. Does anything make sense anymore?
No. Not when we're living in dystopia.
We're living in a time where the NBA. Never mind. I'll cuss. I'll leave that alone. We're living in a time where they are making a proposal for the Bears to move to Gary, Indiana.
Do you see this happening?
No.
I was going to Gary, Indiana Bears.
No one would go to that stadium. No one. Because I used to live in Gary, and I have one very important question. Where would they put the darn thing?
Maybe they'd knock down one of the old steel yards.
That ain't happening. Too much history.
Yeah.
People love those places. They go for tours and everything. No, they're not going to knock down that. They're certainly not going to knock down U.S. Steel Yard, which is where the Gary South Shore Railcats play. Very familiar to me. They ain't blowing up the South Shore station, so you can't put it there. I mean, it won't work. I'll leave it there. It won't work. There's no way there's no way it could work. You got Soldier Field. Somehow you hastily in 8 months' time put a spaceship in front of the columns after they blew it up. They spent a year in Champaign, and we all know how that season went. Bless you.
God bless you.
Bless you twice.
Lordy.
That's one of those sneezes that warm. That's one of those sneezes that sneak up on you.
Yeah.
That's one of those sneezes. That's one of those sneezes that sneak up on you. One more thing before we get out of here for the weekend. Unrivaled.
Yeah. Where do you want to go? I got a lot.
I'll go where the league has gone. Upside down.
Fair.
It's upside. I mean, yeah, you had one shining moment. There's a familiar song for college basketball fans. One shining moment where you sold out Philadelphia.
Yes, you did. 21,490. Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Yep, 21,490 in the new Spectrum Xfinity Mobile Arena for those of you scoring at home.
Yep.
And then that happened. And now you have these one-on-one matches where players are getting obliterated.
Yep.
You can't write this.
They want that money. What is it? 50,000, something like that. I mean, you've got to remember that this is bonus money in the bank. I know Paige Beckers was one of the one-on-ones, and if you think about it, that's a nice amount of money to be to have. I mean, it's crazy. Now, how many people actually watched it? That's because this is really, I mean, the basketball is still terrific. If you look at the games, they're fast paced, they're fun. It's such a different game from the W, and it's a different game from pretty much every other type of basketball. 3-on-3 is one of the most fun aspects of basketball that you can watch. And you're watching the W Stars adjust to a whole new system. By the way, Angel Reese is back at the Rose. So I guess she's just.
If I'm gonna pick a player that I loved watching in Unrivaled, it's Aaliyah Boston.
Oh yes. It's
Aaliyah Boston.
She.
If the WNBA ever gets that,
I heard Angel Reese. I was just thinking, boo!
Why?
Because she is just so self-centered. It's frustrating to watch somebody crumble their own career by being so self-centered, not caring about her city, the city that she plays for, which is Chicago. She's worried about the brand deals that she's trying to get when she's not even that good.
And not caring about the game either. We've all talked about that.
Yeah.
Not caring about the game.
Caitlin will get a triple-double before Angel Reese. Mark this right now.
It's fair. I love your passion, hon. I really love your passion. It is epic.
After LSU lost to Caitlin Clark in Iowa, where Angel Reese had an incredible game on a bad knee, 17 points, 21 rebounds. My simple question is, what has she done since then? Save one game against Indiana where they wiped out a 15-point deficit to win, and that was in Chicago.
Yeah,
that was in Chicago. Angel Reese has two very dangerous things about her that she can use to her advantage. She's a lefty. And
like me.
She's a post player.
Beats, I love you. I love you so much, Beats.
Allie bringing out the slurs on the show. Fundamentals and now Angel Reese. Hey, Dean said something a few weeks ago, and I'll never forget what he said. And I was on location when he said this. He says, Snowman, I need to correct you on something. I says, what's that? He says, you said Angel Reese has started from the bottom and has done nothing. I said, yeah. He said, I need to correct you on that. He says, she started at the bottom and has gotten worse. I put my headset down and walked off.
She was never even at the bottom because she was below the bottom.
I go back to the game 3 years ago against the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Also, side note, this is a cool jersey. Shout out Kansas City Pioneers for getting this to me. It has my new username and my full name on the back.
What's the number?
I love it. I can't read it, but I love it. No,
shout out Raven. That little logo right there, that's Raven. And shout out the Kansas City Pioneers, the primary and only esports organization of the Kansas City metro area.
If
beautiful.
She ever utilizes her left hand in the post, you know how dangerous she'll be?
Mm-hmm. It would be nice.
If they had a coach, Tyler Marsh, I'm looking at you, that ever had her develop what's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's greatest weapon? A hook shot. Even if it's a jump hook. Even if it's a jump hook. A jump hook would make her so dangerous.
I also on the terms of basketball, there's this 7-footer in the Big 12. I don't remember her name.
I know who you're talking about. She just started. I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
She plays at Houston. I think so.
Don't think it's Houston. I think it's Texas.
Texas. It's Texas. It's Texas A&M or Texas Tech. It's one of the two.
Texas Tech. And I'm blanking on her name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. She's like 7'2".
I know too.
She's 7. Yeah. So looking at this right now, I'm pretty sure she's 7'5".
God,
making her the tallest, one of the tallest women basketball players to ever touch the game. But here's the thing: will Texas Tech develop her correctly? That's the big one.
Stephanie Okanu. She's out of Nigeria and she's 7'1".
7'1".
Good
Still, will they develop her correctly at Texas Tech? That is the big question. Because if they develop her right, she'll be a star in the WNBA by a long shot. Just from her size, she'll be the tallest center in the league.
I would love to have that. I would
love to have that too.
Actually,
and guess what? She'll be able to dunk. She'll be able to dunk.
I'll tell you, there was one other player in the W that was 7'2", Margot Didek.
Utah Stars. Yep, Margot Didek.
And I interviewed her, and she was fantastic.
Did you break your neck looking up at her? I imagine you did, because I would have. And I'm
5'3". Okay, I am 5'3.5", and so I used to be taller, and it was I topped out at 5'5.5", and
oh my goodness,
I'm the Mookie Betts of
I love that.
Mookie Betts is crazy.
Anyway, I was jumping up, and she was actually giving an interview to a Polish station before, and then she turned around to me and gave me perfect English, and she was so nice, and she died so young. It was the saddest thing ever, but when you have that much height, it's a problem for the rest of your body.
It is.
And so we see that in a lot of players, and who are that tall. The hearts are bad, the knees are bad. As they
grow so fast, and they grow so fast.
Yeah,
they grow so fast, and the next thing you know, they're 7 feet tall, and they don't know what to do with it, especially when you're 17, 18 years old and you're 7 feet tall and you're trying to get your coordination about yourself, and your body hasn't fully developed.
Yes.
Your body has not fully developed.
I'll tell you, I am looking forward to NCAA selections in about a month because I'm sensing that the Lady Raiders are going to go far in this tournament.
Well, I saw 2 number 1 seeds play each other last night, and that was Texas and Vanderbilt.
That's awesome.
Vanderbilt put on a show.
Vanderbilt's unreal this year.
Listen for the name Michaela Blakes.
Yes.
Super sophomore.
It feels so weird. Just as somebody who's been growing up watching the SEC football, and besides in baseball, hearing Vanderbilt be considered one of the best teams in the sport feels so weird to hear outside of baseball, because I'm so used to them having one of the top programs in baseball. If you got a scholarship in football to Vanderbilt, you'd be like, oh, it's nothing really, unless it's your last day before it's like National Signing Day. Then you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to Vanderbilt. But if it's baseball, you get a scholarship to Vanderbilt, you're going to have a national championship ring.
Well, you know what's fun about these Lady Commodores? Their backcourt. Their backcourt. I mentioned Michaela Blakes, who leads the nation in scoring. She dropped 34 last night. And there's a fabulous freshman by the name of Aubrey Galvin, the former Loyola Rambler.
Yeah.
Who carried them in the first half. She hit 4 threes in the first half. Not only am I looking forward to the women's selections, I'm going to cover them live. And I'm going to fill out my
I have to ask to Allie, or somebody who's been paying more attention to women's basketball, how's KU doing? Are we any good this year? Are we going to make the tournament?
No.
Oh, Lord.
No.
Just, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, honest to God.
Let me answer Droid's question the way my wife would tease me when she walks by here. Droid, no. No.
They just they don't.
Damien says before we get out, he says Angel Reese does more than what Caitlin Clark is doing. That's a lie.
No. If you're talking about branding, then yes, you could argue that.
Just a moment. This is where I pick on Damien. Damien, and I hate doing this to you. She's doing less than what DJ Moore did in the playoffs.
Oh, come on.
I tease him like that because he knows I love picking at DJ Moore, and I know what DJ Moore has meant to the Bears. I do. Yeah. I just love picking on him about it.
Chicago Sky, you sold, mortgaged, and bet your entire franchise on Angel Reese.
That's a graphic coming Monday.
And Camila Cardoso.
And Camila Cardoso has done nothing with the Chicago Sky in 2 years.
Because they can't pick coaches. The last good coach they picked was James Wade.
And James Wade took him to the
love James Wade. We miss James Wade. However,
Wade took him to the promised land in 2021.
It was a wonderful, wonderful ride, and nobody expected it. But I will say that particular season was courtesy of Candace Parker.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other reason than Candace who guided and led along with Courtney Vandersloot. And the thing is that since then, the Chicago Skies franchise has simply blown themselves to smithereens.
Yep. And then, you know what? We'll save the Chicago Sky because I know we can go down a rabbit hole and not come out for a long time. So we'll save that for next week as we follow the WNBA negotiations because we are out of time. We got to get out of here. But Allie, my dear, thank you so much for coming on each and every week. We appreciate it. The Token Female, its own segment podcast, will premiere on iHeart Podcast next week. So look out for that.
I want to say happy Valentine's Day. I love you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are fantastic. And
thank you very much, Allie.
And that's why I wore pink for you today.
Appreciate that. Thank you, my dear. We love you. We'll see you next week.
It's time for us to go.
Angel Reese, the face of the league.
That's a lie.
It's time for us to talk out, though.
Angel Reese ever be in the face of the league?
That's a lie.
All right, let me get out of here before let's get out of here before I go down that rabbit hole and make so many jokes. Damien will be firing pellets at me. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. Happy Valentine's Day to all, and enjoy your weekend. So long, everybody. Let me take a final shot at Damien. I'll save them all for next week. So long, everybody.